Oh my goodness, guys. That was an absolutely exhausting race for stage 3 of Flamme Rouge racing, and I've got to say I am quite literally beside myself on what that was. If you guys saw the video, if you haven't, go check it out. On my weight update, I'm losing weight, feeling good, feeling strong. Hit a new 5-minute power. Again, feeling good, feeling strong. But I wanted to make sure that this time around, like I mentioned in that video, my focus is on getting 300 watts FTP. And so I was like, I know I could do it. I know I'm close. Something over the last week or so happened that my power jumped. Now, I was talking to Mike a little bit about it before the race started. I feel like my position on the bike is better. Like, I feel like I'm in the right spot. I feel like I'm using the right muscles. And so for stage 3 of Ocean Cliffside Lava and Super 6 series, this is really where it came down to putting it to the test. It's an ITT. The best opportunity to improve your FTP is on an event where it's you against you against you in a mass start race with everybody else watching. And so that's what happened. Now, we showed up with a strong squad. I felt like we showed up and it would have been one of those scenes where we're walking out and people are like, here they come. What are they going to do? Like, don't look directly in their eyes, because the group we showed up with. We got DC, Mike, Hamza, guys that at any given race, you can put them on the front and they will just go. And if you're not careful, they're going to walk away on you and not come back. And then there's me. Where any given day, you could count me as, my name's Jeff, when it comes to this format of racing. ITTs are not my strong suit. That steady, hold a certain power range for long periods of time is absolutely not my strong suit. And so I went into this race nervous. I knew my power was coming up. Knowing my weight came down meant that going up the climb into the epic bypass was going to be easier, but I've not done that climb in a while. And this is the part of the epic bypass where you go up, it's a little bit of a sawtooth kind of getting to the top, and then you have that long bridge that just feels demoralizing because you can't, like, you're changing gears and you're spinning your legs faster and things, it feels easier, but it almost feels like you go slower. And so every time I've hit this part of the stage, my body just fatigues and I run out of energy. And so this time around, I knew that that was going to be the most important part of our race, most important part of our stage. Thankfully, we were only going up that part once, which meant I could put as much power down as possible, basically put my mind into that state where I was going up the grade. I knew I was going to be on the second half, and I knew I was going to do a 5-minute effort and kind of lock myself into that cage of like, focus. Like, we're here. Not everywhere else, but we're here. And while we're here, we're only doing here things. And so,
okay, focus, Mitchell, focus.
Went out.
All right, fellas, good luck.
Yep,
Ride steady. Breathe in. Don't forget to hydrate.
Right on.
And hopefully you have more than one fan on, unlike me. Forgot to turn on my second one, but it's too late now.
And again, this being a mass start race, it's A through E. Everybody's going at once. The main strategy for this type of race is do you. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing, do you. And in a way, that's what I meant to do. Mike and I had talked about it prior
What a horrible start.
on Discord, and I was like, hey, if you have the legs for it and you think you can hit 4 or 5 off the front, I'm going to do my best to pace off of you and see how we do. And I mentioned to everybody else in Discord, like, hey, best thing we can do is pace off of Mike, because Mike can do Mike things. Now, Mike ended up in a Miguel situation these past few days. His trainers just decided to...
About 25 seconds at the beginning because my trainer didn't come in.
Oh no.
not play. And so...
I mean, going so hard to get it back, I think I'm
right off the bat, Mike's trainer was like, let's wait. Let's give it a second or 3. Or 25, to be exact. And so, Mike wasn't up front. I went out hard. I went out with the intention to get into the front group and stay in that range. Mentally pace myself off of them. Because I was, in my mind, expecting Mike to be up there.
Kowalski?
And I knew Hamza and DC could do the same thing. Whether it was get up there and then stay there, or come up to that front group as we kind of slow down a bit. Because I figured the A's were just going to be gone. And so I'm on the front. I'm going. I'm looking at my watts average. And my brain is just controlled fireworks of excitement. It's like, yay, but no, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Yay, but let's focus, because we still have a race to win. I'm looking at my numbers and I'm seeing 300 plus watts average in the first few minutes, first 5 minutes, first 7 minutes, first 9 minutes, first 10 minutes. I'm like, okay, my legs feel good, my lungs feel good. I feel like I was able to kind of ramp my power up to like 90% and then hold it. And hold it. And I'm still holding it. And I'm like, all right, well, when is this gonna not, when's the crash happening? Because I know it's inevitable. And so we get through the volcano, we get through the Dirty Suppressa climb, and I honestly forgot about that climb. I shouldn't have, because that's a pivotal point in the race. You hit that climb, it's gravel. It's not steep, but you can lose enough momentum if you try and back your power down, because you want to reserve some, because as you hit the gravel, you feel the loss of power. You feel the resistance kick up a little bit. And I get up over that, stay with the little group that I was in, and then get up out of the Italian villas. And next thing we know, we're on a little bit of a downhill, going down the side of the Italian villas. And I'm trying to coast a little bit. I'm trying to save some, but again, ITT, there's no draft. And so you can't really coast going downhill at 1, 2, 3%. You're gonna get wind resistance or in-game physics resistance, and you're gonna start to slow down. So I'm spinning my legs, trying to keep up with the group I'm with. I see the group that I was with initially just continuing to push into the distance. No big deal. They're A's, they're B's, that's them.
Oh, man.
They do that. And I know I'm getting closer and closer and closer to the epic bypass climb. When we get to that part of the climb, or when we get to the epic bypass, the base of the climb, there's a bridge that starts to push upward a little bit. And as it starts to push up, it's at 2%. I think it maybe, like, as you get to the very top, it crests at like 3%, no big deal. But then it slopes down. And when I hit that, that was where mentally I was like, this is time to check in. I checked out. I let my power be what it is. It's time to check back in. Let's see where we're at. Mentally, felt good. Physically, felt good. And so it was time to climb. And I knew going uphill, the faster you can go uphill, the better you can do in any race. As you guys have seen, if you watch professional racing or have experienced in your own races or your own rides, the faster you go uphill, the easier it is to maintain your speed going downhill and maintain your overall performance. And so I knew with what I did on the grade the other day on my FTP test, I knew that I could lock in for 5 minutes and just climb. And so that's what I did. I locked in and started pushing. Found a rhythm. Initially, I started off probably a little bit harder than I expected. I think I hit right around the 5.0 watts per kilogram range. And I knew I was going to have to back it down. I knew I couldn't sustain that for that entire first part of the climb before the bridge. So I back it down a bit, and I just find a rhythm, kept going. And I told our guys, I was like, think Andrew Feather thoughts. Because, man, he can climb. I just saw an infographic yesterday or the day before that his climb in the Slovenian event was like 500 plus watts average for 40 minutes. Or 47 minutes, whatever he did up that climb. That's impressive. So I was like, guys, think Andrew Feather thoughts. Like, just lock it in, focus, and just keep going. Keep going. Just keep pushing until you get to the top. Because once you hit the bridge rounds out at like 3-4%. And it's a steady 3-4 the rest of the way. I think it like as you get to the top, it kind of ramps up a little bit, maybe 6%. But that's not for long. But it's just the length of the bridge feels like you're going forever. Forever. And then once you get past the bridge, you get a little bit of relief because the elevation starts to flatten out. And then the bypass, you're going through these 0, -1 to 2%, maybe 3%, maybe an odd pitch of like 4-6% to crest over a little hill. But you're talking about doing that for seconds. And so it's rolly. But again, this direction on the Epic Bypass, it's rolly upward. So from the top of the bridge to the top of the final part of the bypass before you get to the next bridge to go downhill, it's a slow, steady climb. And so you can't just back down the power. Now, I was trying to hold around 300 watts. My average was still looking good. But at this point, I'm feeling it. I hit close to the half-hour mark, sub-half-hour, somewhere around there. And so on the race that I did the day prior, on the crit race, I held right around the same power for right around the same length. So I knew I was running out of steam.
Think Feather thoughts.
And I was running out of time to use that steam. And so I'm feeling my power, feeling it coming down, and I'm like, all right, I've got like 10K to go, or whatever it was from that point. I've got some downhill coming, so I can rest on the downhill and see if I can bring my energy stores back up enough to finish the last handful of kilometers as strong as I can. Because the way this stage was set up is we basically did 1.5 loops. We did one full loop, past the start banner, and then we go all the way out to the start of the base of the Epic Bypass climb. And so I knew I couldn't just ease up on this downhill. I had to stay on the pressure, but at the same time, I needed to recover. At this point, my legs were hurting. I felt it not only in my body, I felt it in my brain. Emotionally, I was starting to lose focus.
Almost there, fellas. Almost there.
And so I'm encouraging the guys, tell them, hey, we're almost there, we're halfway. Once we get down to the base of this,
About
it's halfway
halfway.
there, and we're almost done. Just keep pushing, keep going strong. Knowing that they're not that far behind me. And so I keep going. I make sure that I'm pushing as hard as I can. Once we get back on the rolling, I'm around a few B pace group riders, A pace group riders, so I'm thinking like if I could stay with them, then I know I'll get a good finishing result. Because at this point, I thought I was in front. I'm looking at the list. I don't see any C-Pace group riders with me. Or C-Pen riders with me. I thought, hey, maybe there's one or two that escaped and went up the road, because there are some strong guys in this group. The main competition, the Brazilian team, I know they're behind me. Because at my best, I passed a few of them, but they weren't dropped. They were right behind me, and had this been a race where we had draft, they'd be on my wheel for sure. And so I was thinking at this point, I'm like, maybe I'm in front. Obviously, it being a mass start race, the chart shows what the chart shows. I was in like 19th place or something. And so I'm getting excited, but at the same time, power is coming down. My emotions are starting to roller coaster a bit. And I'm like, all right, got to stay focused, not that much longer. We get up that first climb out of Watopia's beachfront, and I am pushing. Have a few guys around me, and I'm like, I'm going to push. I'm going to see what they're made of. I'm going to see if they're willing to put a stronger pace in, see how tired they are, because if I can break them, then maybe I have a shot of doing good. Because at this point, it's me against them. Me against me, but me against them. I keep pushing, and we're kind of back and forth. We're rolling through each other, pushing off of each other. And I feel like if we could see each other, we would all have the same grimace of like here he goes again, pushing up. Like, come on, dude. Like, really? And looking back, like, are we doing this? Are we not doing this? I can go. I can't go. I'm not doing this. Like, I feel like there would have been a conversation there that we would have expressed to each other the pain and suffering we were in, but at the same time, the unwillingness to back down. So we make it up to the Dirty Suppressa, push once again. I get halfway, and my body was like, nah, we're done. Legs were like, okay, you did good, you proved a point, but we can no longer take it from here. And at that point, I went from feeling good, feeling strong, watching my FTP come down ever so slightly, to I just need to hold on because I'm so close to the finish. I don't know that I'll make it if I don't just go. And so that's what I did. Hit the downhill, rested as best I could, but little by little, 1, 2, 3 people started passing me. And as people would pass me, I was thinking like I could just, if I downshift, I could spin up my legs a little bit, try and hold that power. As I brought the power up, my legs were like, no, we're not doing this. We already said, finito, time to go. Thankfully, at that point, there was only a few kilometers left. And so I just needed to just keep going. I don't know how many seconds I lost at that, at that final like 3-4K. But ultimately, I got to the bridge. Now, there was a person that passed me. When they passed me, I was like, you know what? They're not that far ahead of me. If I shift into the 210, 212 range, maybe not quite 212, but 210, 211. If I shift there, I can get off the saddle and just roll at like, my brain was thinking 600 watts. I was like, hey, I could turn this into a sprint, roll for like a kilometer or so at 600 watts and just stay steady on the power. What actually happened was I shifted up. All right, so as I hit that bridge, at that point I was feeling it. I knew that if I could just hold 210, 212, or 210, 211 around there, maybe I can squeeze out some extra watts and actually perform well. So I ramp up the gears, get out of the saddle, start pushing, and I'm at like 350, 400 watts. My legs were like, nah, we're not gonna, this isn't a sprint finish. This is good luck. And so, felt good for the first little bit, hit the bridge, hit the 2%, and I all but almost stalled out. At that 2%, I felt the resistance lock in. I felt my legs just could not push. And so I ramped the gears down as quickly as I could to not lose momentum and spun as quick as I could to, again, I tried to maintain that momentum that I had. And as I hit the bridge, I tell the guys, I'm like, yo, this hurts. This absolutely hurts. It was like hitting a brick wall.
How you doing,
God,
Miguel?
this last bridge is terrible. Even at 2%. Oh,
But
me, man.
thankfully, I just kept rolling.
That bridge at
Lost some more
2% feels like
time
you're
because
hitting a
I
brick wall.
slowed down. But the
Oh
goal
my
was to get
gosh.
over the line. And so I
I'm gonna
did.
turn around.
Got over the line, and to my surprise,
Where'd you finish?
surprise, not surprise, I kind of figured. Like I said, there was a point where I was
Yeah.
like, I think I'm
43:09. My time.
cross the line,
Nice.
and sure enough, first
Yeah.
place. And I'm just, wow.
Oh
Like, wow.
my God.
Cannot believe it. Absolutely cannot believe it. And so, talking to my guys, finding out where they're at, they were right behind me. I think they were 30-ish seconds behind. And so Hamza came in right behind me, or Mike came in, and then Hamza right behind him. They were fantastic. Encouraging each other, powering each other. They just, Mike did what he could to get onto Hamza's wheel and just stay together. And they pushed strong. And so ultimately, we had a great race. We felt good. We felt strong. And I think we ended up securing or solidifying our third place in the league. And so that was race 3 done. Now we got to see what the races have, what the next and last 2 races have to hold. So that being said, I'll see you guys in the next race. Oh yeah, look out for my FTP update. It was good. It was good.